Far Into the Bench podcast with Jimmy Pilato, Nico Bryan. Before we get back into talking about sports for the week, wanted to give a shout out because we're getting into most dominant team of the week. Give a shout out to the Bach State Bruins, the fourth grade team that I helped coach and the offensive line and defensive line coach for them. We had our first win Saturday, 46-6. Had our Mercy Rule Mercy Rule of Bear Creek, and we're going to be working with them. So right now we're playing in our just AYL league. We're going to be playing in the NYFC tournament, which if you've listened to this show for a long time, Nico and I have told some stories about playing in that tournament out in Las Vegas. We are fundraising, so we're going to be putting the link in our link tree to donate. There's also a way, if you have a King Supers, if you're already doing King Supers rewards for another organization, if you're wanting to switch over to the Bach State Bruins, you can, but it's BachStateBruins.com is where you can go, and then there's a donate button to click on there. But we'll have the link posted in our link tree so you can get there quickly, and then if you have time, go over to BachStateBruins.com and help out, because the more money we raise, the more fun we'll be able to show the kids also in Vegas. It's not just going to be a football trip, then we'll be able to take them to a show and a dinner and everything like that. So if you have the time, be sure to donate there. But Bach State Bruins 1-0. Be sure to keep you guys updated because those kids are a lot of fun to watch, and they'll be representing Colorado come November around Thanksgiving time out in Las Vegas. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, we won't be taking them to any Thunder Down Under, but maybe we'll let them. But you can go take them to the Knights of the Round Table show. That's
yeah. I was going to say we went to the Excalibur, the Knights of the Round Table, where we had turkey legs and mead. That was an interesting.
Let's just say at our age, Jimmy and I go for gambling, and we go to the comedy shows and the stupid shows, and that's what Vegas is for.
If you are old enough to partake, I'll say MGM if you're a fan of country music, they got a great country bar with live music. Losers. I saw Warren Garrett, which Warren Garrett's going to be a name. No free shout outs, but shout out Warren Garrett. He's got something in the works that's going to be really cool for the podcast. But I'll say Losers is where I'm probably going to be when the kids are asleep and the coaches have a little bit of time to roam. I'm going to be posting up at Losers, most likely, listening to some country music.
For sure. All right. So for my most downloaded city of the week, I had to pick Illinois. I had to. It was salt in the womb. Shout out Kendrick Green's old school in Illinois and Bo Pelini. But, man, best team in the country, best record in football, baby. Number one team in college football. They want Bama, right? Give them Bama. Bama State probably, but give them Bama.
Bama doesn't even know Illinois exists. Bama's like, what? What is it, Illinois?
Where is that state? That's up there somewhere.
Is it
right?
Illinois? I don't know. We'll go up there and beat the crap out of them. My real most dominant team of the week are the Tampa Bay Rays. Like I said, they're on they are now on a 9-game winning streak, and they are 10-0 in their last 10 games. They haven't won in a little bit over a week or haven't lost in over a week and a half. So the Tampa Bay Rays are on an absolute heater right now. And my bench warmer of the week are my Cincinnati Bengals and their fans. The game Sunday was not great. I didn't get to watch it because Sunday Ticket hasn't started yet, but I was checking updates on my phone, and we were winning. It was the fourth quarter, 10 minutes left in the game. We had a 12-point lead, and guess what? At 5 minutes left, we didn't. But we had a 4-point lead with 5 minutes left, and then they ended up scoring with like 2 minutes left, and they had to score a touchdown to take the lead. All we had to do was hold them to a field goal, and we couldn't do it.
Didn't they? I thought it was like a minute 30 left. It was a fourth down, and they threw it up in the end zone. They caught it. So it was a Hail Mary. They lost.
It was similar. I remember
in preseason football.
Yeah, one week last year, CBS's game ended, and they got to flip to the end of the Browns-Bengals game. And it was the one where Donovan Peoples-Jones had the toe tap in the corner of the end zone. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I finally get to see them play, and I have to watch my heart get ripped out on TV? Are you kidding me? Yeah, so benchwarmers of the week, Bengals, and our fans. We're in for a long 6 months.
Don't say our, because I'm not a part of that.
I'm saying
I don't claim. I don't for you.
The collective we in my head.
All the fans that know how to spell Cincinnati correctly.
It's not many of us.
My benchwarmer of the week. It is I want to say my second favorite tennis tournament of the year is this week and next week. Obviously, the U.S. Open has been going on. You'll hear about some of my beats of the week later on for the U.S. Open. But my bench of the week is freaking Tsitsipas. This Greek guy took a 10-minute bathroom break because he was losing by 2 sets to Andy Murray. And look, Andy Murray was one of my favorites. It was Roger and it was Andy Murray. Andy Murray is way past his prime. Dude's like 38 years old, and he is unranked. And Tsitsipas, I'm pretty sure, is the third-ranked guy in all of tennis right now. And he was losing to Andy Murray in the first round. And basically, there's this rule. It's a very vague rule in tennis that each player gets 2 bathroom breaks if it goes 5 sets, because it's a 4-hour match, and they allow 2 bathroom breaks. But you're not allowed to check your phone because you can't be coached. That's the thing that many people don't know about tennis. The player can never be coached physically by a coach. So they can't talk to a coach. They can't whatever. They got to go and take a shit or change their shorts and come back. And Tsitsipas took 10 minutes. And if you're Andy Murray, who's I think right now 38 years old, 10 minutes in the middle of a match, and a guy like at his age, you're done for. Done. Your energy's gone. That does it for you. And the guy got a warning, and Andy Murray is a brilliant man. He after the match, he basically came out and said, he's like, I prepared for that. That's how bad this has gotten with this guy. This guy he's good enough to not have to do that. But he was about to be embarrassed in the first round of the U.S. Open to a legend in Andy Murray. And he's decided, you know what, I'm going to go take a nice 10-minute break. That's got to be changed. And Tsitsipas, I hope the guy loses quickly because I love me seeing Andy Murray. But an 8-minute bathroom break, 10-minute bathroom break, it takes 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You can wash your hands quicker than that. And sometimes they let them change their shorts or whatever for whatever reason. It should take less than 5 minutes. And the fact they did that to beat a guy who's 38 years old, I hope he gets bounced the next round.
Something my dad always used to tell me: if you shake it more than twice, it means you're playing with it. And 10 minutes, I don't even know what you could do in there in 10 minutes.
Andy Murray was just sitting on the court, and everyone was like, where the hell did he go? Like, legit. Like, everyone was like, because I was watching it because it was a good 5-set match, and I was like, what in the world? What's going on? And I think everyone in the stands, and Andy Murray was like, this is taking too much. And it was ridiculous that you have to do that to be a 38-year-old, in my opinion. And Andy Murray's a legend of the game, but like to do that, that's just unheard of, uncalled for.
Shout out the bathroom at the U.S. Open. Apparently, maybe they have those Japanese toilets that they were talking about in the Olympics. Maybe that's why it's like, I don't want to get off. There's too many cool settings. Now, moving on from Benchwarmer of the Week, let's get into What's Brewing, presented by our friends at the High Alpine Brewing Company. Be sure to follow them on Twitter and Instagram at High Alpine Brew. I'll start this one because it's interesting. I was listening to last week's episode of Bussin' with the Boys, and they had the Open Doors guys on. It was cool. I finally got a little bit more background on the NIL deal, but I saw this on ESPN. We have our first major domino for the NIL this fall. So Quinn Ewers, did you know about Quinn Ewers? Did you see the other story about him?
I did see that, yeah.
So Quinn Ewers, he decided to completely skip his senior year of high school once the NIL was allowed.
He's the guy with the mullet too, right? And
yeah.
The full, yeah.
So he was the number 1 ranked prospect in 2022. He's playing high school football in Texas. The NIL does apply to high school athletes as well, but Texas is not allowing for it to go. That's one of the states, their state legislature is blocking it. He decides then he's going to skip his senior year of high school, enroll early at Ohio State, and he just cashed in on a $1.4 million endorsement deal with GT Sports Marketing. That it's
oh my god,
3 years, $1.4 million. All he has to do for it is sign a few autographs for the brand. But this is a kid who was going to be going into his senior season of high school football, and now he's at Ohio State, 17 years old. He's going to be a millionaire by the time before he even plays a single game. This is crazy.
This is nuts to me. First of all, I think the cutoff should be high school. I think it should be illegal. That's the worst thing. Texas needs to. The state legislature needs to crack down on that. But like 1.4 million, that sets his family up for years. and the guy hasn't played one snap of college football. I understand if you're Bryce Young and you're the quarterback at Alabama and you're signing autographs. I understand that. The guy hasn't played one snap of college football, and he's at the school on $1.4 million.
Imagine the recruiting this does for Ohio State.
Oh,
because
my God.
you look at this kid, he hasn't even took the field. Like, he barely played in the spring game, and he's going to be making over $1 million on his endorsement deal. If I'm a 5-star recruit, I'm living in Texas or wherever I'm at, I'm going to Ohio State. I'm going to go make me a bag before I even get on the field.
Honestly, I'm rooting against the guy. I hope that he runs away with the bag. Screw the agency that gave him $1.4 million. Yeah. That was the most. It's not even on the kid. I would have fully accepted that money too if I was him.
It's kind of on the kid because he has an agency. He's milking this shit. He's the reason why nobody wanted this to happen. Like your dad's generation didn't want this to happen for this exact reason for 20 years.
I mean, I get that, but if someone says I'm gonna give you $1.4 million. And you're a high school football star, I'm taking that money. There's no question about that. It's on the agency. Because the kid can suck for all he matters. He can be complete ass. And he could be a Tate Martell of sorts. Imagine how much money Tate Martell would have gotten coming out of high school after QB1 and all that. The dude doesn't win the job at Ohio State, doesn't win the job at Miami. Like what? Like I hope the kid gets the bag and never plays it down at Ohio State. I know that's terrible to say, but I hope he gets the bag and just done for it. And the agency is in debt for a long time because that's just idiotic move on him. The kid is a genius for marketing himself and to a point where he can get $1.4 million. But that's just ridiculous.
It skews the market completely. It's not something. Listening to the Open Doors guys and then seeing this story, I was like, that's not the Open Doors guys. They actually laid out the benefits. Like I knew that there were benefits to the NIL being signed. I just didn't know enough about it and didn't have it explained to me in a way that I could really understand. But now having that knowledge, it makes sense. And then seeing this, I'm like, this is exactly why those old fuddy-duddies were able to keep it this way for so long. Because they're like, oh, well, then what's the difference? They're not playing for the integrity of the game anymore. And I can see that. This kid is not playing for the integrity of the game. He's got an agent. He's got a brand deal now. He's out there looking. He's out there looking to make money. He's not out there looking to make him a better player, get an education. He doesn't give a shit about his education. He skipped a year of school for this shit.
There's those athletes and there's athletes that obviously do it the right way that we cannot forget about. That's why I'm still so happy about this deal. But we all knew there's going to be repercussions. We all knew it. We didn't know what was going to happen. We now we know it's going to be the high schoolers leaving high school early, and it's going to be the super conferences forming because that's how teams think that people are going to get recruits. So that's where we're at with the NIL. Now college football is gonna, I don't know about suffer for it, but we all knew something was going to happen, that it would have turned the wrong way because every good thing that happens, especially in college sports in general, there's always a repercussion that comes back and slaps you across the face.
All right, what do you got for what's brewing?
My what's brewing. So I want to give a shout out here to Astro Nolting. I played lacrosse with him in high school. The man was drafted to the Colorado Mammoth. I know we don't talk about a whole lot of lacrosse. We talk a little bit here and there about the PLL, but the guy was a T. Wharton top 10 finalist, which for college football fans is the Heisman Trophy of college lacrosse. And the guy, he got drafted in the second round to the hometown Colorado Mammoth. He played box lacrosse here too. He was one of the founders of unified box lacrosse here. So that's a great thing to see. I think there's a better shot he goes and plays in the PLL because there's a good chance he gets drafted there too. I think there's a good chance he could probably end up there. But it's still cool to see him getting drafted. Like I said, I played with the kid, and Asher was an absolute stud. The guy is unbelievable. He's gonna be a stud wherever he goes. Let's put it that way. He was the top guy on our team for a reason.
Yeah, and then speaking of the PLL, we have the semifinals this weekend. We might as well throw it in. Atlas versus Chaos, and then the other matchup is the Whip Snakes and the Water Dogs. We're a Water Dogs podcast since the Redwoods lost to the Whip Snakes. So do you think that the Water Dogs are able to get past? As aren't the Whip Snakes the defending champs?
Two-time defending champs.
Two-time
Two
defending
times.
champs. Oh.
And they got Zed Williams and Matt Rambo, who are studs and a great goalie back there too. Like this team is good. It worries me. They were an underdog through, and Water Dogs had a great season out of Connor Kelly. But if I'm a betting man, I'm almost gonna bet on the Whip Snakes because the odds are gonna be favored towards the Water Dogs, and that's where you're gonna make your money off of it. But man, I like the Atlas on the other side because Baptiste is an absolute stud on the faceoff, and Eric Law over there for the Atlas is a stud too. Both guys Eric Law played at Arapahoe High School, and then Baptiste played at Denver University. So I think it's going to be Atlas Whip Snakes. I would love to have the Water Dogs in the final, but I just don't know if they're ready for that yet.
I'm going to be a good AWL, and I'm going to go good dogs, roll Water Dogs. But I everybody should know my opinion about lacrosse should be taken with about as much consideration as a 5-year-old telling you why the sky is blue, because he doesn't fucking know. He doesn't have a fucking clue, but he's going to tell you he does. He's going to tell you. So roll dogs, I guess. Roll dogs. All right. All right, and now we get to move on from that was What's Brewing, presented by our friends of the High Alpine Brewing Company out in Gunnison, and now we get to go to Splinters on the Pine. What's been getting at us, getting sticking in our craw for the past week? I'll let you go first because I started with What's Brewing. What do you got for Splinters on the Pine?
So this is a little bit of a What's Brewing, but at the same time, it's kind of funny, but it's a heartwarming story. Please, everybody, get off my man J.R. Smith's back. The guy is living life. He is playing golf.
Who's talking shit about that?
Everyone's like, man, JR is he's realizing what is like in the real world, and he shouldn't be playing D1 golf and blah 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 blah. And I think it's bullshit. The guy, if he's good enough to make the team, I am gonna throw on fucking golf. I will throw on. I think it's oh my god, what's the school name? I think it's North Carolina A&T or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, A&T. I'm gonna watch the golf beats because I want to watch JR play golf. Fuck yeah, I will, because I love me some J.R. Smith, 2-time NBA champion, by the way. Don't forget, 2-time NBA champion J.R. Smith. Everybody's been shitting on him about, I mean, not everybody, but there's been a majority of people that are like, this isn't fair. And like, the dude's going back getting his education. And he's not
taking a scholarship from anybody.
He's not, I mean, he technically could be on the college golf team. But still, the guy is paying his way. He's getting an education.
He's not taking money from any of the other members of the team.
And I think it's fantastic what he's doing. And I think, like I said, I mean, I'm playing because on Wednesday I'm playing the TPC Scottsdale with the Waste Management Open. As you're hearing this, I'm probably playing it right now. But like it's a great like golf is one of those sports where it's good to have entertainment. J.R. Smith, man, I love J.R. for everything he did in Denver. Like that was I think every Nuggets fan ever loved J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith was a guy where he did not care how bad of a shooting night he was. You knew he was going to pull up from the logo before it was cool and drain one with a hand in his face. Like JR is that cool a guy, and the 2-time NBA champion. I think it's awesome. People just need to relax. I know it's weird that he's 38 years old or something stupid like that, and he's in college and he's playing golf. I think they're D1 school. But lay off. The guy's living life. He's going through the same struggles that all of us had. I love his Twitter. He's been like, man, these fucking exams suck. And he was like he's tweeting out some funny shit. But shout out JR. People need to get off his back because I will have no JR slander ever on my timeline.
No, if you're slandering JR at this, you're just a very unhappy person, and you're going after somebody who's making himself happy. I'll make one request on behalf of the Benchwarmers. Since you're playing a golf course on Wednesday, can we get at least one hole where we get the drive, see how well the swing has progressed, so people can go back and watch the FEOTB Invitational?
Yeah, a birthday swing, I maybe we'll be able to do that. But yeah, it's a super nice course. They don't have the stands up. like they would at Waste Management Open. But yeah, I'm super excited to go. My mom and my brother and I are going to one of the most beautiful golf courses in Arizona. So should be a fun time. It's supposed to rain, but it's been 108 degrees here in Arizona all week. So I'm hoping that it's not above 100 degrees. Let's put it that way.
I can't believe it took us this long to get into the podcast before we wish you a happy birthday, because this podcast is dropping on your 24th birthday.
Yeah,
So,
it's Mamba year, baby. It's Mamba year.
Mamba year. Happy birthday, Niko.